Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Avadon. Last episode, we finally made it into Castle Vebeaux, and after a bit of exploration, spoke with the Duke. And we have been told what we are to do. We are to go speak with a Hochlandian located in here and help him with a mission in the Barrage of Woods. So, let's go speak with the Hochlandian now. Let's hope our taking Shima here does not cause problems. There is a lone Hochlandian standing at these ramparts, staring out over the Baraza Woods. Considering the long-standing grudges between Hochlandia and Kalimdariel, you can see why everyone nearby is staying a healthy distance from him. He wears the insignia of a monitor in the armies of the Pact. This means that while he might have hundreds of soldiers under his command, he is out of place here in the halls of high power. When you approach, he turns and faces you. He looks grim.
Ah, you are Jason, yes? I am Monitor Shagaz. Duke Griffin sent word you were here, in his enthusiastic way. I hope you have spoken to him about this fool's errand we are all on.
Duke Griffin has told me why I am here.
Then you have heard his plan for a new glowing peace. It is a marvelous expression of youthful optimism.
Based on the wrinkles on his face, you would guess that Shagaz is close to 40 years old.
And yet, his energy is infectious. As long as a hand is present to witness the affair, I might give Griffin's idea a chance.
Then he looks at Shima.
I know you. You are Shima, yes? Of the Three-Spear clan? I have heard of you. Family disgraced, fled to Avadon. Since you are under their protection, I will tolerate your presence.
Shima nods. You don't believe that Duke Griffin's plan is wise?
Wise? Perhaps. I can't judge wisdom. All I know is that wisdom is rarely enough to stir people to act in this world. And yet my superior surprised me by allowing me to work with him.
Despite your doubts, you are helping him.
Duke Griffin has a persistence and enthusiasm that can be hard to resist. I believe his attempts to help Kalimdariel are genuine. If he believes that this can be achieved by settling affairs with Hochlandia, that is all to the good.
Why are the Hochlandians letting you work with him?
It is not my place to judge my betters. However, it does occur to me that for all of their warlike talk, they may truly and secretly wish for this petty argument between nations to end. Anything is possible in time, even wisdom.
Monitor Shagaz stares silently out over the Baraza Woods, lost in thought. He does not mind his solitude here in the fortress of his rivals. In fact, he seems to relish it. You have heard of Shima.
I am a lowly soldier, but all Hochlandians know the wisdom of knowing who among our people wields influence in Avadon, especially in exile from a disgraced house.
He turns to Shima.
I am not of the honored forge that destroyed your family. I am not your enemy.
Shima nods.
I appreciate that, and if I may ask, will we meet any warriors of the honored forge among your retinue?
Shagaz is motionless.
I will not be questioned about my warriors. You must be content with my good wishes.
Okay then. Let's hope things don't get more, you know. How did you come to be here in Castle Vebeaux?
Duke Griffin requested that Hochlandia send an envoy on the pretense of discussing trade. It was not a desirable job, so I was given it. And now he has adopted me as a diplomat. It is strange.
Why didn't anyone want to accept the task?
It is dangerous for one of my people to come to Kalimdariel for many reasons. The job was passed around from soldier to diplomat to courtier and back again until it landed on my desk. Me, a lowly monitor.
Why did you accept the task?
Partly because I did not think it would be honorable to refuse. And partly because my career has been lackluster, without distinction. Before I retired, I wanted to do something different, notable, even if it was a tedious trade negotiation. Of course, I then found out that much more was happening.
How will Hochlandia react to your work here?
I honestly have no idea. They seem receptive, but I don't know. I am trapped, a tiny grit of sand between two great powers. I will do what I can.
Very well. What are we going to do?
We are going to do something that nobody could argue with. We are going to rid Baraza Woods of one of its infestations of vile creatures. There's a region of the Barraza Woods called the Pits. One particular pit seems to be infested with vile creatures. We will be cleaning it out. He removes a scroll from his pouch and hands it to you. That is a map. Leave this castle to the west and follow the road through the Barraza Woods. The map will lead you to where I and several Kellam soldiers will meet you. The Barraza Woods are now available as a destination on the world map. You can travel through there to reach the region where Shagaz will meet you. What sort of monsters? The sort of creatures made by aberrant magic, if you have seen such a thing. You tell him that you are intimately familiar with such aberrations. It is shameful that the dispute over ownership of the woods enables such horrors to escape destruction. That ends now. Who will be hunting the beasts? You, me, and 3 stout warriors of the Kellam. That the soldiers of Hulklandia and Kellamdariel will be fighting side by side is a remarkable thing. That alone is an accomplishment for the young Duke. Where should I go from here? Descend to the Undercroft, pass through the West Gate, and travel west through the Barraza Woods. Follow the main road to the west. You will come to our camp in a day's journey. Understood. Thank you. We'll be going to the Undercroft soon enough. Let's do a bit more exploration around here. Oh, actually, before we do, we have spoken with the Duke now. Perhaps now we can speak with the commander over here. Come on, this way. Round this way. Yeah, more stairs down over there. No idea what's in there. Alright, round about here, and... Commander Peveril. Commander Peveril sits at his desk, which is covered with thick piles of maps, messages, orders, and the other debris that comes from command. What else do you need? I've been told to cooperate. I've spoken with Duke Griffin. I'm glad. I will not speak with you before our leader has. You know, then, why you have come and what the Duke is attempting. It is a bold effort. I am sworn to help no matter what the risks. What are your duties here? I command the soldiers that defend Castle Vebeaux. I make sure they are equipped and trained and that we have enough supplies to withstand a siege. This castle needs to always be able to defend itself with no notice. Also, when I have more things that need doing than soldiers to do them, I can hire skilled warriors to aid me. He gives you a significant look. You're always expecting a battle. Of course, we are not one of the calm, sedate, petty fortresses sitting snug in the center of Kellamdariel. We are on the border of contested territory. We're also a 2 days' hike from Hulklandia, a country we were at war with a century ago. Castle Vebeaux's history is one of sieges and battle, and we have never been taken. You gather lots of supplies. We're always ready for a siege. We always have water and food reserves in the Undercroft sufficient to last us for years. It is expensive, but we are always happy to have them when we need them. Well, my services are occasionally for hire. The commander nods. I am pleased to hear it. Castle Vebeaux has constant problems with smugglers trying to slip goods past us without permission or tariffs. I have been informed that smugglers are digging a tunnel under the river to the west. I would like for you to find it and close it. Why do they smuggle goods? Because otherwise, to pass the castle, they must pay a few coins for each wagon of goods going through. It's one of the most ancient and valued privileges of the Dukes of Kellamdariel, and they get angry and violent when they are denied. Who is your informer? I would rather not say. This person is risking his or her life by telling me what he or she did. And where should I look? Oh, somewhere at the entrance to the Barraza Woods. There are a few farms and other buildings there. That is where the tunnel is. Probably. What do you think of the Duke's peace efforts? The commander smiles. Excuse me, I can't help but contain my relief. Many nobles of Kellamdariel are born to the rank and not skilled or engaged. It is risky to say much more than that. However, Duke Griffin is different. He made it clear from the moment his father died and he ascended that he wished to use his position to make a better future for our people. You are Kellam? Of course! In theory, I am of the Pact Army, and any position in the fortress of the Pact can be held by a citizen of any of the 5 nations. In practice, only someone Kellamdariel born will be given a position of such importance in a duke's castle. Do you think that trying to make peace with Hulklandia is wise? I would never dare express my own opinion. I do know that some of our nobles are angered by his efforts, and if they decide to act, it is my job to defend the Duke. Of course. Do you have many dealings with Avadon? He seems nervous. Many hands come through here. They often come see me for information and assistance. I always help them as well as I can, until it turns out that they are not what they appear. What do you mean, not what they appear? There was difficulty recently with one of the hands of an Avadon. He was not loyal. We tried to arrest him, but he escaped. I would rather not discuss it now. I assure you that I am entirely loyal to the Pact. A rogue hand. That's curious, and very interesting. Okay, there's a few passages here. Guest bedrooms. South guest rooms. Not much in here, it looks like. Oh, there's a couple coins, I guess. Don't really need that short sword. And northern guest rooms. Reserved for Jason. Oh, we have guest rooms. How nice of us. I wonder if we'll end up using it for some reason. Oh well. How nice that we were actually provided guest rooms, so we actually have a place to rest. Chambers of the Encanters. Protective gear recommended. Castle Vebeaux is, of course, outfitted with a large and well-equipped magical workshop and apothecary. This woman is in charge. Like most mages of a certain age, she seems perpetually distracted, but she is willing to give you at least a quarter of her attention. She brushes her long, uncombed hair out of her eyes and inspects you. Ah, Avadon, yes? Heard you were coming. I'm Incantatrix Questa. I run the workshop. Answer to Dick Griffin directly. You'd want me to help you. I will. Can sell you scrolls, products of our workshop. Would ask for help from you in return, if possible. Tell me about your workshop. What? She seems slightly irritated by the question. Avadon has a magical workshop, yes? You know what it is, what it does, what we make and watch. Hans always asks obvious questions. What do you make? Potions, wands, scrolls, things to help defend Castle Vebeaux from attack. We have stockpiled such weapons for a century. Who do you watch? Anyone in the Barraza woods. We always watch for invaders, any signs of the enemy, or any enemy. You deal with many hands. Hands often come to us for help of all sorts. We help all of them, and they often don't turn out to be traitors. You try to get her to elaborate on that, but she becomes distracted. Incantatrix Questa is happy to speak with you, in her clipped, distracted way. However, much of her mind is always off contemplating magic and alchemy. She always thinks about both projects taking place by now, and those that will happen in the future. She looks at you. What? Can you trade with me? Of course! We have some potions, scrolls, and wands available, for loyal servants of the Pact. Potions, basic kind of stuff. Scrolls and other enchanted devices. A deep rune... She's got a couple runestones. Deep runestone, icy runestone, runestone of purity, deep runestone again, and another icy runestone. And a glowing runestone. Interesting. Wizard's bow. That's expensive, but I think I might actually buy it. Yeah, bonus to missile damage, and does a lot of damage. I may buy it. It would be useful for her, since it would allow her to attack things... You know what? Yeah, I'll buy it. I don't buy things very often, but that's a very good bow. I'd like to know more about Duke Griffin. He's the Duke. That means that I have to obey him. So I do. I know he's doing lots of things. I don't concern myself with him. Okay, then. You want help from me? I do. I speak with people. I hear rumors. I've heard that you're going to the Barraza pits. Magically altered creatures there. Very promising. If you find the workshop where they were changed, I want to know about it. Have a sample of what was used to change them if it exists. What makes you think such a workshop exists? Oh, just a guess. You go and find nothing, then I have nothing to ask for. However, such creatures don't just appear. They must be made in a place. Yes, like the Shadow Beast was. So you want to be given samples of forbidden magic? For a moment you have her full attention. I want nothing that would anger Avadon or break the laws of the Pact. I will only study the magic, not replicate it. To fight, we must understand. I suppose that's fair. Very well. Wizard's bow for the Black Oak bow. The Black Oak bow does a little less damage. It might prove useful for someone. We might use it for someone else, I don't know. Yes, bring her the magic samples, we might. Castle Vebeaux has quite a few apprentices each year to learn the difficult and useful crafts practiced here.
In return for knowledge, they are worked nearly to death. They are polite to you, but they make it clear that they don't have time to talk. You let them go. Various books there. And that's the end of this. Not really anything to take out of here. Okay, now we can go back to looking around, starting with, well, going around this passage around here. We pretty much explored everything in the south here. I wonder if we can actually talk to the person who is over here now. He may have a quest for us, I don't know. Well, we'll check in a bit. For now, back to exploring around the north side of this place, see what there is. We may have to save the Undercroft for the next episode. Alright. Up we go. Oh, looks like that's a place where some guards go for time off. I mean, a board game, a couple dice, and some coins. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Looks like there's not actually very much that we can explore up in the north side. Yeah, it looks like the north side is actually completely not anything we can explore. Okay, then. Let's see. Let's try and talk with this Viscount again. No, nothing. Okay, so we've got two stairways here that we can explore. Most likely, both of them lead to the Undercroft. Wait, maybe not. Where does this one go again? The Vebeaux Gardens. No, I think this actually does go to the Undercroft. There's an enormous Undercroft under Castle Vebeaux running the entire length of the fortress. It is held up by many pillars, both natural and man-made. The main entrances to the fortress are at the east and west ends of the gallery. These entryways have huge steel gates and multiple guardhouses, and of course they can be collapsed in the event of a siege. Of course, most merchants and other common folk aren't allowed into the main floor of the castle. Caravans making deliveries do so down here. There's a noisy and boisterous bazaar in the center of the Undercroft. There are several merchants here negotiating with great enthusiasm. None of them have the time or interest to talk to you. They point at a merchant at the west end of the bazaar. Talk to Peveril. He will have what you need. Peveril, huh? Okay, then. One area of Castle Vebeaux's Eternal Bazaar has been claimed by a young trader. He is a Kellam with sharp eyes, rough clothes, and a willingness to drop everything the moment someone from Avadon appears. Wait, come over here, he says, waving you closer. I am Peveril, tinker, trader, the merchant who can get you anything you need before you go out into the wild. It's dangerous out there, you need to be prepared. You deal with many hands? I do. When they come to Kellam, they often pass through this keep. Don't worry, I won't make you ask for a discount. Hands already get one. It's only fair, considering how dangerous the roads have been for them lately. Dangerous roads? What do you mean? Peveril is stopped short by this. I'm sorry, I shouldn't pass on rumors. I only heard that many hands have been... I apologize, I will talk about trading. That is what I will do. Peveril gives you an obsequious little bow. I am honored whenever a hand speaks with me before heading out into danger. I only hope that something I can sell can provide the edge you need to keep from succumbing to peril. Can you tell me what has been happening in the castle? Oh, sounds like you're trying to discuss politics with me. I don't do that. I have no opinions. None at all. It is difficult enough obtaining the right to trade in the castle without making those in power angry. How'd you get the right to trade here? You speak with Great Master Pross, and with enough consideration, he might consider granting you a very temporary license. When he says consideration, you note that he lightly taps his cash box with his foot. It is difficult at times, but it is the Kellam way. And you have no comments about what Duke Griffin has been doing. I know nothing about it. I've tried very hard to know nothing about it. Ignorance is bliss, I suppose. Let's trade. Of course! I'm buying and selling at the moment. Well, what do you have for sale? Lockpicks could be useful. We have plenty. Drakeskin. Not sure what we'd need that for. Incanter's bow. That would also actually probably be very useful. But, you know what, we'll stick with the bow we got. It's nice. Pulsing runestone. Increases intelligence, and that's about it. Okay, nothing we need. Something I want to sell? Yeah, no, actually we don't. I don't need anything else. Oh, but you will! I'm sure you will. And when you do, I hope you remember that Varrot's prices will not be beaten. He turns and begins to scan the bazaar for his next customer. I'm sure. Alright, let's explore elsewhere. Whole bunch of merchants and the like. Okay. Okay, that looks out east. Okay, that's the main gatehouse. Vebeaux defenders and the like. Okay, they're watching over the main gatehouse. This must be where that guy he was talking about is. Yep, Gatemaster Pros. There's an aging, obese bureaucrat of the Pact sitting at this table. He shuffles papers around and frequently drinks from the goblet of wine on his desk. When he turns and sees you, his attitude of arrogant confidence instantly fades. He rises to his feet, sweat beading out on his forehead.
Ah, the hand. I did not hear you enter. I am Gatemaster Pros.
His clothes are stylish and clearly very expensive. Being the gatemaster for a castle like this one is a lucrative post. What exactly do you do?
I am the Gatemaster here. Every merchant who wishes to travel through Castle Vebeaux requires my permission. Then they must pay the toll, and I collect it. Duke Griffin places great trust in me. I do my best to justify it.
When do you deny a merchant permission to pass through?
What? Oh, that hardly ever happens, and only when I suspect the merchant of being dishonest or disloyal to the Pact.
You suspect that bribes also work their way in there somewhere. Merchants must pay to pass through here?
Oh, of course. The ability to charge a toll for safe passage through our lands is one of the oldest and most valued privileges of the Kalendaria lords.
Isn't Castle Vebeaux on a free road?
Yes, well, the free road actually ends just before our castle and resumes on the other side. Special dispensation from Handval's council, you see.
Gee. What? How convenient. Gatemaster Pros continues to stand at attention and answer your every question. He constantly casts longing glances of his chair. He wishes for nothing more than to recline comfortably in the absence of anyone from Avadon. Well, you seem to be doing very well for yourself. He looks down at his rich clothes and gold jewelry.
I work very hard for my Duke. He gives me compensation in return.
His hands tremble slightly. And the occasional bit of bribery has nothing to do with it?
I am so sorry, Hand of Avadon. I have much work to do. Honest work, I must return to it. If you have any suspicions about me, please take your proof to my superiors. Excuse me.
He plops back down into his chair and makes a big act of shuffling through his papers. Of course. I'm sure. This book is about the stone wall beyond, which surprisingly you haven't encountered much, despite it being repeated several times. There are two principles the Pact relies upon to guide it in its laws and actions. The second of these is the stone wall beyond. This means that all members of the Pact, when dealing with outsiders, should be cold, emotionless, and unbreakable, like a stone wall. When dealing with the barbarians and creatures that inhabit the Farlands, a true member of the Midlands Pact acts only for the good of the Pact, untouched by sentimentality. When in the presence of a human from, say, the Tawan Empire, it is easy to be tempted by sentimentality, pity, undue emotional attachment. The Stonewall Beyond ever reminds the Pact that these outsiders are, at the heart of it, the enemy. They have raided the Pact before. They will again. Empathy has its place in many parts of life, but when dealing with an outsider, be like stone. That is not something I can really stand by, I'm afraid. This probably goes up to... Yep, that goes up to there. But yeah, say what you want. People are people, regardless of where they come from. So, Stonewall Beyond, I'm sorry. Where does this go? 2 storage halls. Of course we wouldn't be allowed in there. Castle Vebeaux has quite a few apprentices, each here to learn the difficult and useful crafts practiced here. In return for knowledge, they are worked nearly to death. They are polite to you, but they make it clear that they don't have time to talk. You let them go. The undercroft of Castle Vebeaux contains an enormous smithy, capable of tending to the needs of both the small army and countless passing merchant caravans. The head blacksmith is not happy to see you. That isn't an unusual reaction to the presence of a Hand of Avadon. However, seeing you seems to make him genuinely angry. He tosses a massive hammer from one hand to another and glowers at you.
I am Smith Bevis, he grumbles. Hands of Avadon are always welcome here. You can buy the very best of my equipment, always happy to help.
Tell me about your forge.
It supplies blades and armor to all the soldiers of Castle Vebeaux, and thanks to you, we're sure to need plenty of blades soon.
You have some sort of problem with me? Bevis realizes that he might be close to crossing a line.
No problem. What do you need?
I'd like to trade with you.
Of course, I have weapons and armor, finest Kellan workmanship, and therefore unmatched in all of Neus. I don't get to sell to many hands. It's an honor no matter what harm you're trying to do here.
Well, the honor is mine. I'd like to see what you have. Smith Bevis softened slightly at this diplomatic response.
Then come and look.
Weapons. Absolutely nothing. Titan steel broadsword? That is impressive. Not quite the same as the Emerald Saber. I mean, it does more damage, plus a bonus to melee damage, but the Emerald Saber also has that bonus, plus the acid and poison resistance. Handy and impressive, but I think we're fine without it. Much better than the steel broadsword, though. But I'm not going to buy it. What about armor? Quicksilver vest. Not too bad. Fine chainmail. Titan steel chainmail. Ooh, that's impressive. Doesn't give the endurance bonuses. Steel breastplate. Steel shield. Titan steel shield. Okay, that's impressive, but I like the buckler of... Well, it would actually be better than the buckler of agility. And Titan steel girdle. Huh. Much more armor. Gives a bonus to a chance to parry. That is very impressive. Some of these items are very good and definitely worth purchasing, I think. I think I'm going to buy the Titan Steel Shield. And give the Buckler of Agility to Shima. Yeah, I can spend the coin. We got plenty. I don't spend coin very often, but I'm finding that with very little that is worth buying, it's worth it here. Okay, this is going to be point for someone else. Really? A horseshoe. Very lucky, except maybe for the horse. Okay, then. Alright. And we've got one of these. Perfect. A forge we can combine stuff on. Yes, this shield might be useful for someone else, but we'll hold on to it for now. Probably hand it in sometime in the future. Or not hand it in, but use it for someone. You know what I mean. Alright, and this looks like it heads out to the west. Oh good, a lockpick. You've got plenty. Yes, that heads out to the west. What's down in this passage? Oh. This side chamber is full of the reek of animals and fresh meat. You detect wolves and something else. It takes a moment to place it. Then you see one. It's a basilisk. The beasts of Castle Vebeaux are raised and trained here. They are used for the hunts of the nobles, not to defend the castle itself. The presence of basilisks is quite unusual. You would not have thought that such magical and dangerous creatures could be domesticated. Surely the head trainer will have something interesting to say on the topic. I think so. Kennel apprentice. Kennel apprentice! Castle Vebeaux. Oh, okay, we've already spoke with. Doesn't matter. Should not have tried to talk with. In all your travels, you have never heard of anyone determined and foolhardy enough to try to train basilisks. And yet 3 of the creatures lurk in the back of the cell. They watch you hungrily with their beady eyes. Their lizard brains wonder in their simple way if it is worth it, the risk to freeze you with a glance and slowly eat you alive. Happily, they decide not to. Okay, where is the head trainer? Ah. When the master trainer of the Vebeaux kennel sees you, she is eager to talk to you. She is a short, stocky woman who clearly spends a lot of time out in the sun. Her work has left her hands and arms covered with as many scars and claw marks as you would expect. Welcome, Hand of Avadon. I am Tender Melisande, and I am honored to welcome you to my kennel. We have been doing much hard work here, and the advances in training techniques we... Excuse me. You look to the side and see that one of Melisandre's assistants has been paralyzed by a basilisk. She pulls out a whip, runs over, saves his life, and returns to you. Excuse me. Anyway, I really wanted to talk to you. You're the head trainer here. She gives you a friendly smile. I am. It is a great honor to tend to the kennel of a Duke of Calamdariel. All of our royalty take pleasure in hunting their animals, especially when hunting. But only our Duke has basilisks in his care. Don't think he'd ever boast about it. How long have you worked in this kennel? Oh, for most of my 30 years. I first worked in the kennel when I was 10, bringing food and cleaning the leavings. I had a knack with calming the animals. The old tender noticed it and he trained me. It is very, very rare for a mere peasant to rise so far. These animals are used for hunting. Mainly, they hunt the wild game of the Baraza woods, some of which can be very dangerous. The animals are also for showing companionship and for other things. What other things? My charges have been called upon to track down criminals. It is very rare, but it happens. Turns out that my basilisks are excellent trackers, and no brigand has ever escaped their gaze. Tish. Trainer Melisande happily speaks with you, though she never looks away from the work of her assistants. She is ever ready to rush somewhere to deliver reassuring words or the lash of her whip, whatever is needed. It is hard work. The Dukes of Calendario always insist on a kennel of the highest quality. What do you train here? I train dogs and werewolves, all creatures of spotless pedigree and skill. However, I'm sure you have noticed my basilisks. That is what gets everyone's attention. I'm the only trainer in Linnaeus that has tamed these beasts. Why bother to train basilisks? Oh, they are amazing creatures. Raw muscle containing powerful magic. Why, a dog can fetch felled game, but a basilisk gaze can freeze an elk solid at 50 paces. Also, to the Kellam, there is value in doing something nobody has ever done. The more useless and dangerous, the better. Ah, so you're dwarfs. Why are they so hard to train? Well, they are lizards, mindless meat-eaters. Also, the power of their gaze makes them absolutely lethal. And yet they respond to my commands. Sadly, I'm the only one that they obey, but I hope I can change that. What happens if nobody else can learn to train them? She grins wickedly. Then when I die, Duke Griffin will have a lot of deadly unmanageable pests in this undercroft. You might want to put a gate out in front here, just to be safe, sometime before you die, possibly in the next week or so, just in case there is a disaster. Please! For the safety of everyone! Everyone! Why were you so eager to meet me? It was pure self-interest. I hear a lot of things. For example, I have learned that you might be traveling into the woods. Also, you're a hand of Avadon, so I know that your aid might be for sale. If so, I would trade some of my resources for some of your aid. Well, what do you need? I need to control the local basilisk population. It has increased much lately, and I'm afraid I am to blame. There are a number of basilisks loose in the Baraza woods near Castle Vebeaux. Kill 5 of them, and I will pay you a bounty. Why are you to blame, as if I couldn't make a couple educated guesses? I pay generous bounties to anyone who can bring live basilisks to me. Not all of them can be trained, but a few can. The rest are destroyed. Sadly, not all of the hunters can control the basilisks. They end up being paralyzed or devoured, and the basilisks get loose in the woods near the castle. Unfortunately. Okay, that's one thought. I suppose that's fine. I expected something like a couple basilisks got out and it started breeding or something, but I suppose that's fine. Why haven't the soldiers already done this? Oh, because the idea of being frozen by a basilisk gaze and then slowly eaten alive, frozen in place, unable to move, and feeling every moment of it causes them some concern. I imagine so. Well, there's not much left in here. Couple wolves. Duke Griffin must take his hunting very seriously. You have never seen a trained wolf this large and fierce, of course. Most people aren't crazy enough to try to train wolves like this at all. When you get close, it lets out a long, low, chilling growl. You decide to keep a safe distance. I don't think there's really much else to look at down here in the Undercroft. No, I think this is basically just her quarters. Nah, I'm not going to bother opening that. Okay, so the only thing left is really going out the west exit. So, you know what? I am going to end this episode here. Next episode, we will make our way out to the Baraza Woods. See what we can do. Till then, I'm Chester44, that is Jason, Shima, and Nathalie. This has been an Avadon Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.